Hey guys, welcome on in. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Been running kind of crazy busy today, so apologize for that. I am going to be live here today. I'm just trying to get everything up and rolling here. Thank you guys, everybody. I'll give you guys a few minutes to kind of roll on in. As always, let me make sure the sound is on. Looks like we're good to go. So today we're going to be talking about, of course, everybody's favorite topic right now, which is going to be prismatic evolutions. And do I think that this set's going to be fire? Do I think this is going to be an awesome set? Absolutely. I think this is going to be absolutely the best set of Scarlet and Violet to date. I think it'll even give 151 a run for its money. That's my particular thought process while we're waiting here. Casper, thank you so much for joining in. Glad to see you here in the chat. How have you been doing, my friend? Hopefully you've been doing good. Yeah, I'm just kind of running around in circles trying to get things done here. Like I said, I'm just going to give it a little bit of time here for some people to get in before we really get into the meat and potatoes of this one. And do I think that this is going to make Pokemon investors just absolutely melt? Yes, I think this is going to be absolutely insane. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that the set looks awesome. I think that the cards inside of it look awesome. I think in general, a lot of this stuff is going to be awesome. So we'll get into that a little bit here. Casper, I've been good. So much Pokemon stuff coming, bro. It's crazy right now. It is. And it's getting to be a really, really crazy time. We got Surging Sparks absolutely going wild on release here, which is fantastic to see. Once again, I was not able to. I was going to get hold of everybody. I was trying to scrounge up some. I was hoping after release here, sometimes some things will pop free from the distributor where orders weren't completed or anything like that. I was hoping maybe that... with the fact, well, they did kind of announce it right after, they kind of announced Prismatic Evolutions right after the release, after the shipment dates for all of it. So they kind of did that and kind of just left things at the point where they released at the right time, where the distributors had released all of the product already. So once again, it kind of already shipped. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how the market digests that, knowing that we have this big set. But the other good news is that set's still quite a ways off, too. So that's another factor. Plus, that set, again, like Crown Zenith and like they've been doing with a lot of these sets, even 151, they're elongating the release dates on these specialty sets further and further than what they have in the past. So I sent you a message on Discord. Joey, that's me. Okay, yep. I kind of thought that was you. I wasn't 100% sure, but I was about 99% sure that was you for some reason. I have not been in here... since the other thing, yeah. So I was gonna send you that information. So, like I said, being in California, if you purchase from me, you're not gonna get charged tax, and then I'll send you with flat rate shipping too. So, that's typically how I try and do the setups on those things. So if you are interested in anything for Prismatic Evolutions, we do have pre-orders still up available. When I hear the distributor telling me that it's getting tight or allocations seem like they're getting very, very high, I will let people know and probably order that day. So right now I'm looking at trying to get all the pre-orders in here for hopefully like this weekend. I'm hoping to be able to send that out here maybe the 9th or the 10th, just so everybody's aware that it's still looking for some pre-order items for the Prismatic Evolutions. We don't have 6-pack bundles up yet because those don't release until March. I know Pokemon Center put up the pre-releases on them, but I have not gotten those from distributor yet. And the other thing that I have not gotten, there's another product as well that someone asked me about, and that doesn't release until the end of like mid-February. So another one, if they're a little bit further out, I'll get staggered pre-orders for that as well. So we're just going to have to kind of wait. The 6-pack bundles is one that I know a lot of people are very excited about when it comes down to the set. I am as well, but those are not available currently at this point in time for pre-release or pre-ordering yet. As soon as it is, I will make sure I get those pre-ordered. I do warn people on the 6-pack bundles. I have been warned from my distributors that I am low man on totem pole. If you can get those pre-orders somewhere else, I would take them. Just because I'm low man on totem pole, I might be a little bit cheaper per unit than another place such as Pokemon Center or Best Buy or someplace like that. But because I'm lower on a totem pole, if they over-order or if there's too big of orders ahead of me, I will more than likely lose some of my allocation. So I won't know how much I will get. So they told me ETBs isn't going to be a problem. They're going to have plenty of ETBs when it comes down to the pre-order. It's not any problems there from what the rep has told me on that. The other products I have up doesn't sound like there's going to be any problems. The binders, the poster collections, the 3-pack blisters with the sticker collections, all of those are okay. no issues there. But of course, as the rep says, he's kind of keeping me in the loop when he feels that there's going to be a lot of orders. Make sure I get him in because those ones are going to be more priority set. The 6-pack bundles, they tend to go more the bigger accounts. So the bigger accounts kind of get priority on those. So just so everybody's aware, if you are looking, NorthwoodsTCG.com, we got pre-orders for the Prismatic Evolutions sitting there right now. I will be probably shutting that down this weekend just because I want to be sure we get those taken care of. So, yep, I will get you that information there, Joey, on that, Casper, for that as well. So, Prismatic Evolutions, what do we got? Fire set. I think overall, I like the Umbreon in this set more than I like the Moonbreon. I never did, personally. I've said that on this channel before. There is no secret to this that I am not a big fan of the Moonbreon. I think that the Umbreon artwork is very lackluster. I actually have always liked the V more than I've liked the VMAX of that set. So that's just been personally me. I thought that the V art was a lot better. I like the artwork of like that V and this Prismatic Evolutions version of Umbreon, Sylveon, all the evolutions look absolutely fire to me. So I'm extremely excited. I want that Flareon card. Flareon fan. I'm sorry I'm not an Umbreon fan, but I want the Flareon card as fast as I can get it. So I'm going to be looking for that fairly quickly to try and see if either A, I can pull it right away. If I can't, I'll probably be purchasing that right away because I got a feeling that all of these cards in this set are going to be absolutely fire. I think all the evolutions look fantastic. I think they look really, really good. I think they look better than most of the VMAXs of the actual Evolving Skies set for sure. Personally, I think that they did better artworks on these ones. I think overall, the only thing that I don't like the whole floating crown thing. I mean, I get it. It's the Terrasilize, the new dynamic of the Pokemon TCG, but to me, it just looks tacky. That's just my opinion. If you were to look at any of those cards and just imagine it without the crown that's inside of those on those pre-release artworks, to me, they look 100% better. But still, I do like the cards in general better than most of the VMAXs when it came down to Evolving Skies. I'm kind of on the fence, though. I kind of still like that Umbreon V from Evolving Skies more than I like the Umbreon out of this set. That's me. Like I said, once again, I do like that artwork, that dark Persona. I'm a dark Persona artwork person. My binder is very much full of like Noivern and that Frostlass. IR, the Umbreon V's. I've got quite a few of those. I kind of like that Dark Persona. I wish they would. I wish that they were bringing back Dark Pokemon. I think that Dark Persona is very fitting for a lot of collectors in this hobby. Some people are just that way, and I'm one of those people, and I'm fine with that. That's my personality. I'm good with that. So overall, fantastic opportunities, I think, coming forward with this. If you can jump on some pre-orders, I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you're looking for potentially some quick flips, having product in hand might be a very fantastic opportunity to maybe buy some of this product, get it in hand, and then sell some over market value right away or within a couple of weeks or months to be able to, once again, hold that long-term investment, which is what I always like to do with sets, hold that long-term investment without the cost of holding that long-term investment on the shelf. You get that dollar back to be able to use on something else that's coming forward, because we do have Team Rocket set. We knew this last year in the Pokemon TCG was going to be rough. We knew with Team Rocket, with Eevee Heroes 2.0 coming, that we were going to be in a pretty rough time, a really rough aspect when it came down to that. So I think that we're here. Money's going to get tight, guys. If you weren't budgeting, now's the time to be listing things that maybe are selling well, that you don't necessarily want to hold for that long-term investment, or you think that it's matured out fairly good, to try and get that value now to be able to put into these newer sets. There is more opportunity, in my opinion, there is more opportunity right now in these sets coming out with Team Rocket and Prismatic Evolutions than there are in a lot of previous sets right now that are out there. So even if they're doing extremely well, for example, a perfect example of that is going to be Twilight Masquerade. If you bought Twilight Masquerade at $100 a booster box, and right now that set's sitting at what, like $50 or $150, $160 currently on that particular set. So I'm just going to use it as an example. So let me look it up, just so I can give you the right numbers. I just want to give you correct numbers, and it's easy enough for me to look it up. So we're at $160, $155, $160 currently for Twilight Masquerade. And now as you look at the charts, and if you look at them, we're kind of seeing this leveling period now. It's starting to level off for Twilight Masquerade, which I 100% can see. Do I see that Greninja being a big enough push here in the near future to justify holding. If I got it at $100 and I want to, and it's got to 160, do I see there being more potential with that money that's sitting there in Twilight Masquerade, or do I see it in Prismatic Evolutions? I'm going Prismatic Evolutions. Right now, I would be taking the $160, maybe keep some Twilight Masquerade for that long-term hold. Just to, once again, I like to divide and conquer. If I can get some movable money that I can use to expenditure and actually buy Prismatic Evolutions, and I sell out some Twilight Masquerade, even if you bought some pre-orders on, let's just say Surging Spark. Surging Spark is now the big set. So you bought it at $103, $100, $103 from some pre-order places, and now it's worth $160. Do you see Surging Sparks continuing to have that kind of growth, or do you see Prismatic Evolutions outperforming those particular sets? Now it's choice. Now it's the decisions that you need to be looking at when it comes down to these particular these products, and trying to make that decision for yourself on doing some analysis and really making that decision. Personally, if I bought Surging Sparks at $100, $105, I'm keeping maybe a case back, I would probably be dumping a bunch of it. Same thing with Twilight Masquerade. If I bought it around that $100 range and it's $160, I'm probably going to dump a bunch of it. Why? Because I see more potential in Team Rocket in the near future, and I see more potential in Prismatic Evolutions than I do in those particular sets. Now, I know some people will make the argument, hold it all. I'm looking at this from a common sense investment strategy. If you have money and you see a better opportunity coming, get the capital to be able to attack that better opportunity. You're going to get better percentage gains at this point in another set. If for some reason Twilight Masquerade starts moving, then you still have that backup. You kept some behind. You kept the booster box. If you have 4, you sell 3, you keep 1. The one's paid for, then it's free, right? You don't have any costs associated with that, and you can take all that money and put it into the next set. You can now go and buy more Prismatic Evolutions than you did Twilight Masquerade because of that. So overall, I really do think that these sets are a great opportunity coming forward. Now's the time to be really assessing your portfolio for what sets you think are going to continue to gain in value, and are they going to gain as fast as some of the newer sets that are going to be released? Are they going to beat Prismatic Evolutions? Is it going to beat Rocket? Is it going to beat Team Rocket set? Those are the two sets you got to be looking at futuristically. Is any of the sets that you, booster boxes you are currently owning, is the opportunity cost of holding those for 5 years and maybe getting another 10, 15, 20% on those sets worth potentially passing up on 50, 60 to 70 to 100% gains on these two next sets coming out? That's what you really need to be looking at. My personal opinion is, and what I have already begun to do, is I'm selling down on those two sets because I have it, and now I'm starting to back them out and push them and going into Prismatic Evolutions and trying to build a nest egg for Rocket set, because we do know that's coming. So once again, you know that set's coming. Be preemptive on it. Make sure you're starting to bank some money. It doesn't mean you have to rush now for Team Rocket. If you're looking at Prismatic Evolutions, of course, faster's better at this point in time. But if you're looking at if you're just simply taking the moment and looking at Rocket, you have time, right? You don't have to make decisions today for that set, but if it's the set you really want to be attacking or capturing, you're definitely going to be wanting to plan accordingly. Maybe you let these Twilight Masquerade and Surging Sparks roll a little bit longer, see where they go if you're not interested in Prismatic Evolution. So, once again, I think that there's some fantastic things. Prismatic is just crazy. I mean, pre-release stuff on Pokemon Center is gone like that. I mean, even I got the four Pokemon ETBs, which I was really excited about, and then I went to my other account, which was kind of interesting. I must have been right on the line where they changed it, because I went on right away when it got released. I bought 4, so I got the 4. So I'm hoping I get a case. That'd be really nice. Hopefully, I don't cut them out of the case and send me 4 individual Pokemon Center ETBs, or that they don't degrade my order. I've had them do that in the past, too, on really popular sets. I know people remember that back in Sword and Shield, where you would order 4 and they'd give you 2. It was like, okay. Chilling Reign was a perfect example. Evolving Skies was a perfect example of that. You ordered the higher quantity, and they would cut the quantity on you and just refund you the money. I mean, or just not charge you when they went to go ship it. So that's also a factor that we need to be considering. Are you going to get 4, or am I going to get knocked 2? Because I went and bought the 4. I went into my wife's account to go buy another 4, and they were sold out. So then I went, okay, they're sold out. That was quick, just like we saw with 151. Just a small little glimmer of time to be able to grab that particular box. And then we saw it come back on, but then they put a 2 limit on it. So they went from 4 to 2, And they just kind of did a sellout and gave it an opportunity to do that. So it's going to be a very, very big shift right now in the culture of Scarlet and Violet. I truly do believe that these sets are going to really change the outlook for the remainder of the set. Now, what happens with the election is really going to make a big difference as well. Keep that in mind. We do have some macro. I'm not going to talk politics. It's not something that I want to bring up on this channel. But I do want to always keep it in the back of people's minds that we have a lot of businesses. And this is coming from the business culture, being in business, being around manufacturing, being around things. A lot of companies right now are seriously holding back and not making any decisions or moves until after the election tonight. So be careful. Be careful out there for sure when it comes down to it, depending on how this election rolls. How everything comes out at the end of this could really determine where things are going to be in the future. So always keep that in mind as you're also working through that as well. Once again, fantastic set. Prismatic Evolutions, definitely something. If you have an opportunity to get in on it, I would not hesitate. Like I said, if you are looking for pre-orders and trying to get preemptive on that, make sure you check out Northwoods TCG. As they get too close, or I get told from my rep that I am honestly on the phone every day right now with him, finding out where we're at. I'm trying to keep a pulse on it so that I can get everything that they want. And honestly, the second that he tells me it's getting dicey, I'm sending that order. So that's the big thing as well that we got to be looking at on that point. Is I'm trying to keep the finger on the pulse. I'm trying to make sure that I get everybody the stuff that they want. And that way we make sure that we get these orders taken care of for you at the best price that I can do. So once again, thank you everybody that has ordered. We're going to continue to keep that open as long as I can. It ends November 15th or 14th. 15th, I got to have all the orders in. I have an end on it on the 15th. So that's another thing that we're talking as well. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be a new landscape here. I think that the Pokemon TCG with this particular set and Team Rocket coming is going to shift gears a little bit, and we might see things really start to change directions and really start to see possibly some really big increases and possibly some value. It could cause a little bit of a seismic move, like I just saw Ben Young just talk about, is that we might see a seismic shift. And when that shift happens, this might be what we finally needed in Scarlet and Violet to get people to move into all of it, right? Finally, they get a trigger. 151 brought in a specific group. We talked about that. 151 did extremely well, but it's like everybody focuses on 151. For example, a perfect example of this is even on TikTok or on any of my sales. If I put up a listing, so we got that reprint of 151, and I got some, poster collections. I got some Zapdos boxes, Alakazam boxes, and them 6-pack bundles when them came through. If I listed 151, and everything's competitive pricing, and does really, should be doing extremely well, but people will buy 151 all day long. They don't care about anything else. Flash deals, sales, anything, lower prices than any place else. Don't care. They just, boom, go. The 151's gone instantly. I can't keep 151 on my storefronts, but everything else is just a slow trickle. It just moves. It moves. It's not fast. It just kind of keeps going. But the 151 stuff is just, but you've got a group of individuals and a group of people that are just hyper-focused on that one set. They never really left and went to the other parts of the Scarlet and Violet era. This set, Prismatic Evolutions, could definitely be a set that I could see potentially doing that, right? It's not necessarily going after Gen 1. It's not necessarily focusing on a specific group of Pokemon. It's not really focusing on a Charizard this time. It's focusing on evolutions, which are very, very popular. But once again, it's got a lot of different artwork. And when people start looking at different artwork, there's a chance they start to spread and really start to see some value in other parts of the Pokemon TCG. So that's just something to consider as well as we're continuing to move forward and move up into what's going on in Scarlet and Violet. And that's going to be a really interesting year here for how this is going to hold up and how things are going to continue to move forward. So once again, I'm not going to make these rants long. I want to keep tonight's live kind of short because I do have some things going on here this evening. So I do want to get to the chats and be able to discuss with you guys as well. So iFOMO, as always, greatly appreciated to have you in here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, once again. But thank you for my mods being here today. Son of Merc, looking forward to seeing what the surprise box is going to do for Prismatic. That's going to be a really interesting opportunity at that point to see how that's going to work. I mean, Pokemon doing a box, it looks really cool. So it's going to be, and Pokemon's done these in other countries. They just haven't really done them in the United States. And so a good example of that is they did this one in China. So this is a Chinese Eevee version. So they use the trainer galleries, and they got a cool little mystery box. So depending on which one you got, so that if you look on the sides, there's all the Eevee cards inside of here. And they're just in the simplified Chinese. I mean, they're nothing, crazy or anything like that. But they come with a cool little frame for it, a top loader, and everything inside of these little boxes. So it's something that they have done with other Evolution sets. So now they brought it to the United States. It's really going to be interesting to see how that mystery product actually performs here in this market. It's going to be cool to see. I think it's going to do really well. I think it's going to be a lot of excitement, especially with an Eevee set. You get 1 in 8 chance of pulling, your favorite Evolution out of it. So it's definitely something to consider and be really interesting to see what the fandom is on that. Casper, I think the Espeon looks the best. I actually am a Flareon guy, so I think the Espeon is a very, very clean card. I do enjoy that card very well. I think it's probably is one of the better artworks on that one. The Umbreon isn't bad. I like the Flareon card. I think all the Evolutions. If you're an Evolutions fan, whichever Evolution you enjoy the most is probably the one that you're going to think is the best artwork on what they've shown so far. Casper, I think the cards look like the Hidden Fate Stained Glass Legendary Birds promo without the crowns. Yep, I can see that. I mean, it does look a lot like that, and that's just that prismatic rarity that they've been going with. I mean, just like Surging Sparks, just like Stellar Crown has that Terrapogus with that kind of gives it that rainbowy effect to the cards. And I mean that they kind of came back with Rainbow Rares, but in a new format for Rainbow Rares. So it's just they got rid of Rainbow Rares for the first 2 years, and now all of a sudden Rainbow Rares are back. So in a different form. Do you think Prismatic and Team Rocket sets suck the life out of 151? I don't think so. Once again, I think that's going back to the fact that a group of people are here for 151. I've heard a lot of people that weren't even in the hobby or weren't even really interested in the hobby. All of a sudden, 151 came in and they were all into it. And we have a group of individuals on 151 that are specifically here for 151. And if a 151 product becomes up for sale, it's gone. It's gone. It just goes. And I don't think that that's going to change. I think that there's going to be those individuals. I think 151 is going to hold up really well. I think in general, I think 151 will be fairly decent. I think that it's going to continue to perform just as 151 has. I think we're going to see some good value continuing to grow on that particular set. And I think overall, I think 151 is here to stay as probably one of the best sets in Scarlet and Violet. Do I think that either one of these two sets could potentially dethrone it as number one? I think it's going to be a toss-up between those three. I think you're going to have some really, really good opportunities. 151 is just a completely different animal just because of the fact that it focuses on the first group of Pokemon, Gen 1, Johto area, all that good stuff. It's just very, very confined to that, and it's a very, very big thing there. Let's see. Ben Young, I already talked to him. Welcome into the chat, Ben. Garen, thank you so much for being in here as well. I'm just going to go down here. I think I got everybody that's here. Sorry, I'm talking really fast just because I was late. I didn't get on here until almost 9:30, so I'm trying to still keep a time frame. Pokeslam, do you know if GameStop has a limit on prismatic ETBs or if they cancel orders? They will cancel orders. They've done that in the past. They did that with dang it. Not Stellar Crown. I keep on saying Stellar Crown Zenith. They did that a lot with specialty sets, especially back when they were over printed demand. They did the same thing, I believe, on 151 too. My biggest suggestion is do smaller orders with multiple accounts with them, and you'll have a better chance of keeping your GameStop orders. So if you've got multiple accounts through GameStop, definitely a good opportunity to kind of spread that out just a little bit. Because if you try and order 10, some of them I don't know if there is a limit on there currently. I thought it was possibly 6, but I'm not 100% sure on the ETBs. I've heard GameStop canceling orders from a friend. Personally, they suck. My 151 pre-order was a mess. Yeah, in trying to do pre-orders from them, I never had really good experiences. I'm kind of worried because we got the UPC, the Greninja UPC coming out through there as well. So I'm really curious to see how they go with that because, I mean, a tendency is that GameStop doesn't send enough to cover the pre-orders for particular stores, or sometimes the store managers will sell things that they're not supposed to. And then when you come to pick up your pre-order and you're not there, I always try and get there like right away. When the pre-order is released, I try and be there right when the doors open to be sure I get it. Because it seems like store, who's, all that kind of stuff kind of changes things up on that. Let's see. Garen, let's go. Didn't get a notification. I'm late. I was late as well, so you're not too late on that fact. Apologies if you're already mentioned it, but any news on Booster Bundle pre-orders? I didn't completely order it, but once the pre-orders end for that, they said November 15th is when they're completely finished. I have November 14th. That way it gives me a day to make sure I get everybody's pre-orders in. And then after November 15th, they're probably going to do the next ones, which I don't remember. There are some other products that are coming out in February. Those ones will be next, and then they'll probably do 15 days for that as well. And then they'll do the ones for March. So they're basically staggering them by releases so that you get some time to recoup and get things set up on your end for those pre-orders. So, yeah, there's going to be pre-orders coming. They are coming. It's just a matter of we're working through the staging of Prismatic Evolutions. So, but like I told everybody on here, Garen, as well, I'm going to just repeat it one more time. If you are counting on me for those 6-pack bundles, just be very, very cautious with me. I'm not saying that I can't get them, but I have been told by distributors with them 6-pack bundles specifically, they are very odd on the print schedules on that. And basically, they do pre-orders, and then they send in that order for the pre-orders so that they can get that stock. I'm low man on a totem pole, so that does not mean that I will get my fulfilled order, just so you know. So basically, I hate to take people's money on those, but I have to pay when I send in my submissions because I don't have a large enough account. I'm not doing like huge dollar amounts, so I'm pretty much pay on order, but I'm trying to help you guys get these pricing the best I can. But I would highly suggest that I can get them for you probably for a better price than you'll get them anywhere else, but I can't guarantee that you're going to get them, and I might tie up your money on those 6-pack bundles. I'm just warning you. If you want to go with me, I appreciate it. If you don't want to take the risk, I try to lay out all the risks with the 6-pack bundles. Everything else, we've got our hands on the pulse. It's pretty much good to go. He's warning me every day I talk to him, probably right around lunchtime. I try and call up my rep, get a call from him, and just get a pulse on where we're at for orders. Make sure that I get in early enough to where I'm able to capitalize on that. That's why I am absolutely positive I'm going to get all the stuff that we're ordering now. I'm going to be able to get. He said there's still plenty of space, no real concern on their end yet for the orders on these. He said if it does change that he'll let me know on that. But everything else, like I said, it doesn't sound like it's an issue. The rep just tells me, he's being honest with me, is that the pre-orders on the 6-pack bundles are completely based on what Pokemon sends. So they also like doing waves with them too, he said. So I may miss the first wave and I might not get them to the second wave. So there's all of those things that could happen, but I'm letting everybody know ahead of time on those, and I did on every time I do 6-pack bundles. It is going to always be a slight crapshoot at the size that I am now. Maybe with these orders and I start getting bigger and start putting some more throughput, then maybe I can get to the point where I'm doing, paid on delivery versus pay ahead type deals like we're doing now. But just so everybody knows, 6-pack bundles, if you order through me, it's appreciated. I understand if you want to go somewhere else. That's 100% understandable. But I cannot guarantee 100% certainty that I will get what you order. So you might be tying up money, but at least you hear it now and you know ahead of time on that particular product. Everything else, good to go. But that particular product is not a guarantee. So just so everybody hears it. Ben Young, the era of 85 quad box or booster boxes has gone. Yeah, it has. We're going up. Paradox Rift's still sitting pretty low at this point in time and is still available at distributors. I think they overprinted that set, honestly, and I think the Paradox Pokemon just didn't resonate. And I understand why. I mean, you can even go to the next set Temporal Forces, and it doesn't resonate. I hate to say it. Pokemon likes doing those little like battle styles, doing those little offshoot sets where they do a little dynamic change. It does all right, and sometimes what happens is sometimes it's the cards, like the trainers that come out of it, are actually a little bit better performing than the actual cards inside of it. So in general, if you look at the pull rate of some of the trainers in those two sets, they're actually more valuable on your GV on those particular boxes than the actual cards themselves, which is really, really sad to think. But considering how good the art personally is, I like the Iron Valiant. I like Roaring Moon. I think they're both extremely good cards. But in general, the playability just isn't as strong as we would normally like to see, or not the playability, but the excitement behind that Paradox Pokemon is not as good. I actually like Iron Valiant. I like Roaring Moon. I think in the Paradox Rift, they're my favorite ones. Temporal Forces, they're just goofy. Gouging Fire is okay. Not too big of a difference. It doesn't make sense to the Pokemon lore, which is part of my problem, probably, is because I play Pokemon, watch the anime, and the lore doesn't make sense. But number two, you look at Walking Wake. Why did you turn a cat into a raptor? I don't understand it. Why did you turn another cat into a giraffe? I mean, it's the concept is just so goofy in some of those artworks. And I still can't get behind them. I know some people have gone, oh, I got behind it after no, Raging Bolt just doesn't do it for me. I think it's a really, really goofy. I have no desire to want that card, nor, everybody got really excited. The price went up really good on it. I have no desire to have that card, personally. The Iron Leaves, I think, is pretty good. Vision is a really good update. I think that's a fairly decent card, in my opinion. I think the artwork, the concept is fairly good. And there's the other one. God darn it. There's the other Iron one. I think those are good. When the concept is very similar to where they're going, I mean, if they're really, really kind of in line and it makes sense at that point, like I said, Iron made sense. Iron Valiant made sense. You got your Glade, and you just made it metal and made it the robotic look to it really fine. Roaring Moon makes sense to me because it just looks like Salamence. It's actually, if you look at the stats of it, it's a little bigger. Wings are a little bit different. I mean, a little bit more primitive when it comes down to it for Salamence. But, Walking Wake makes absolutely no sense, and neither does Raging Bolt. They're just goofy, and they don't make any sense to me. Like I just saw Casper put up there, Walking Wake is Temu edition of Suicune, pretty much, and that's how I feel with Raging Bolt, too. Just not cards that I'm ever going to... I mean, if I were to pull it, I'd be okay with it, but I'm not going to go out and buy those particular cards. I have really very little interest in those cards in particular. Iron Leaves, I think it's a cool card. I think it's a cool concept. I like the robotic look to them. I like the Roaring Moon. Those particular ones make sense, and it works. I mean, it works for their for an actual evolution chain or an actual futuristic look or an ancient look for those particular. So there's an alignment. The dots connect and everything kind of lines up. So, yeah, no, I think that the $85 boxes are probably going to become very, very difficult to find from now on, and particularly because distributors, too, are getting very, very expensive. $100 plus for a booster box for my cost from a distributor. I think the higher quantity people are probably around 95 to 98. Going down to 85 is a pretty heavy loss right away for those particular booster boxes. So I think a lot of people are going to hold off on that as well. Let's see. Thank you so much, Casper, for that. Greatly appreciate it for throwing that up. UK or order. I guess I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe you clarify on that. Hey, Green Emoji, and hey, Pika Pika, how are you doing? Welcome into the chat, guys. Let's see. Son of a Merc. Sorry, Casper, forgot you. Everyone like the video? Yes, exactly. Make sure you guys hit the like button as you're in here as well. Greatly appreciated on that. Helps the stream out a little bit. Son of a Merc. Modern Mystery Stamp Evolutions. Yep. Take my money. Hold on. Here. Take my money. Hold on. I got my Google Wallet here. I'll just... Yep. Take it. I'm good. Take my money. I FOMO. All this means is there should be a Johto 151 soon. Yeah, I mean, why did I say Johto earlier? Kanto earlier. Jeez. Johto, now you said that, now I just realized that Johto 151. How many were added in Johto? I don't remember in Gen 2. Now you got me, I'm trying to remember. I don't think it's 151. I don't think it's 151. It was a little bit different than that. Johto... Pokemon added in Johto. Pokemon. So, Gen 2. What did we get up to? And I just don't... I know a lot of them. I just don't know what the actual specific number was. So... Why do you gotta give me 100? So there was 100 Pokemon added in Gen 2. So you could do a Johto 110 or 100. Flareon sucks. Really? You had to go there, didn't you, green emoji, dude? Someone, kick him out of the chat. Out of the chat. No talking. Let's see. iFOMO. All these, all this means is you should see, yeah, 100. The dots are all connecting. It's getting there. We're getting there slowly. No. Thank you so much, Casper. Just like I said, I just want to keep everybody in the loop. I mean, I don't want to sit there and seem like I'm holding money or anything like that. That's not my intention. I have to pay so that's why someone asked if I was going to do pre-orders and they pay later. I would love to do that. We might get to that point as I continue to do this. We might be able to just pay as we go or when we get it. But as of right now, it's basically pay on order because I don't do enough. So that's why I've been paying ahead. Basically, I'm just taking your money and I'm literally putting it right into the pre-orders on these. So it's not going into my pocket. It's going straight into the pre-orders, and we're going to be getting that coming. Pika Pika, yeah, Pokemon took my money. The only reason I didn't spend more was because they went out of stock on Pokemon Center. Probably saved you a lot of money then, Pika Pika. Same with me. Like I said, the only thing that I would have had more Pokemon Center PCs, except for the fact that they changed it from 4 to 2. So I got 4. They sold out. Went to my wife's account. Went to my wife's account, and I got 2. So I ended up with 6. I saved money. I got a discount on 2. That's what happened. Yeah, and the 6-pack bundles, I would have taken more money as well. I'm just razzing you. I can't. Yeah, like I said, I think that they're all good. I don't see any bad artwork. I'm going to always be partial to a Flareon card just because of the fact that it's my favorite Pokemon. And I've never been afraid to talk about that or say that. You know, some people like to razz me about being Flareon for whatever reason, but I did enjoy it, and I actually had a Flareon Jolteon deck. So Flareon was a useful player. I'm looking it up real quick. Evolutions. I'm just pulling it open real quick because I know there was the card set out here. Here they are. So yeah, like I said, it's just everybody has their own thing, and I think that's the nice thing about Evolutions is there are so many different opportunities and growth potentials when it comes down to Evolutions. Everybody has one that fits them usually. I was really hoping for a new type. Apparently they didn't do that, even though that was kind of the thing we were talking about was a new typing potentially out there just by that one video. But they didn't do that, which was really sad to say. Have you tried the Pokemon Pocket app? I have not. I've looked at it, and I only have so many hours in a day, and I just have not taken the time to sit there and go through that. So, like I said, I think it looks interesting, but I also just haven't really had time to look into it all that much and get into it. I play Pokemon Go as it is when I'm going around places. I played a TCGO online, and to add another part of it would just be getting a little bit on the extreme side. Let's see. Garen, Johto 100, I think, is what was added, wasn't? Yep. And that's what I just looked up. So 100, there were 100 Pokemon added into Johto. So it'd be the Johto 100 if you were to go that way. I'm just looking up because why can't I find the SIRs anywhere? I know that they had them listed. Oh, here they are. Okay. Just took me a minute. Because, yeah, I mean, they got the Eevee. I think they all look good. I mean, personally, I think all of them have really, really nice artwork. The Espeon looks really, really nice. I think the Sylveon looks really good. The Leafeon, once again, Leafeon looks great. I think the art on the Leafeon was extremely good. That was the one I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember if it was the Glaceon or Leafeon, but the Leafeon, I really do like the artwork on the Leafeon. So I think that they're doing some really good things in general with that one. Let's see. I'm getting bored of the Pokemon Pocket app. Basically, need to pay up to get more packs to have a chance to get a playable card. Yeah, and that would get pretty old. if you had to sit there and pay money, I don't like paying money on apps in general. So I mean, I've been Pokemon TCGO. None of them I don't ever do anything. I mean, you can't on TCGO. All of it's pack based, so you can win packs and do that stuff. But yeah, I'm not really a big fan of paying to play. If I gotta get the best deck, if I can't go like TCGO where I can just go use my diamonds and things like that from playing my decks on there to upgrade my deck and do those things for just inside the game, then I'm not gonna go and do that. Casper the Mewtwo deck keeps beating me hard. Hard to play for free, but I think it's a great idea. Yeah, probably is, but what's the difference between that and that? Okay, so maybe someone has played it, and if anybody, I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between that and the Pokemon TCGO. Because what you're telling me is it sounds like the Pokemon TCGO. I mean, do the cards do different things? I mean, do they have different playing? Are they the same as the cards? It's just way more simple. Okay, so it's a simplified. So, because TCGO is basically playing the game, it's just online. You're actually playing the cards. TCGO must be with new artwork. That's what I've seen a lot of, is people are showing the artwork on there. So I do see that weird or different artwork than I've ever seen in the cards. But yeah, I was just kind of curious what the difference was, because it seemed like it was a playable. Yeah, you rip packs, rip to open packs. You do the same thing in TCGO too. You can skip it, but you can actually sit there and open the packs and go through the cards. Yeah, basically smaller decks. So basically you're playing a pre-release deck. So you're dropping the number of cards down to less cards and playing it with the different art or simplified version of it. So, huh. Yeah, I was just curious because everything I've seen so far on it, and all these people got really excited, and I've been seeing the videos on TikTok and on Instagram and stuff of people playing. Oh, you only got 20 cards. Well, okay, it's half of a pre-release deck, a third of a deck. Missions to get rewards, open packs, and similar stuff. Yeah, so it just sounds like a little bit. It sounds different, so I'm sure it's a little bit more interesting when it comes down to that. But yeah, I was just curious because, like I said, I haven't gotten into it at all. I've kind of seen the videos around and seen people opening packs. I saw someone doing a live playing it, but I haven't personally had the time myself to go into that. So. But once again, guys, we're at 10 o'clock. I know I'm late. I apologize. And with the election stuff going on, I got to go and take dinner to my mom. She's out counting votes right now. She runs the local one. So I got to go bring her some food because she said they're probably going to be there till 2 in the morning counting. So not fun, not exciting for her, but a lot of people turned out for the election. I do know that. Election was really, really big this year. So, once again, not going to get too much into politics. I don't really like to talk about that stuff on here. Yeah, I know. God bless her for taking that on, because there was nobody else. All that was left was like the 80-year-old and 90-year-old people in the county, and a lot of them were dying or retiring and going into nursing homes. So she finally got contacted and she did it. So stock market to the moon tomorrow. Hopefully. We'll see. Like I said, I'm not going to go too deep into politics or push my... Well, I guess everybody's probably voted by this point in time. But, yeah, like I said, it's going to be... there's one of two things that's going to happen. Either there's going to be a lot of civil unrest and the stock market's going to go to the moon, or the country's going to be a lot of angry people talking online, and the stock market's going to crash hard in about a week after this all settles down. We are on Northwoods TCG. If you go into the 3D printing section, I know, Garen, you've got some of the stuff now. He placed an order for the stands, and I just want to today we've got like display things. We're now 3D printing the Pokeballs. So we got the Premier, the Pokeball, and the Great Ball. We're working on the Ultra Ball for that. We are working on like holders and stands and that. Garen got one for the 3D printed from my 3D printers now. So I've got the PSA ones done. Let me pull one out here just so everybody can see. We are making like nice little holders like this. So if you guys are doing PSA cards and trying to find a way, this holds AGS and PSA, no problem when it comes down to it. It holds 10 of them. They're stackable, so if you get multiples, you can stack them on top of each other with no real issues on that part. And then we're working on CGC one, so we will have a 10-1 CGC. And then we'll probably have a 7 or an 8-1 Beckett because they are a thicker frame. So this is about the biggest I can make, but I can make the CGC with no issue. we're also working on like displays and things like that as well. So I'm trying to put my 3D printers to a little bit more usage for everybody out there. How tight do they grip? They grip pretty good. So like I said, they sit in there. I mean, I'm risking it for the biscuit here to show you, but they're fairly good. I mean, they're not tight enough to where they make any marks, so they're just PLA plastic. So you can sit there and you can actually, they'll just pick up and fall right in. They're not really held in by a ton of pressure. And then, like I said, I've got 2 of them here that I actually put a bunch of my cards into. So this one's all PSA, and then, like I said, the nice thing is that they are completely stackable as well. So you can stack multiples on the shelf, keep them clean. The nice thing is that I tried to keep them spaced enough where if you are looking in them, you can see all the names of them too by looking down. So you don't have to like pull, go to the middle and pull the one out to see what it is. You can actually just look down them. So I did not put them on Etsy yet. They are just on my website. Basically, I'm kind of doing small orders right now just to get them going. He tilted them and they didn't. I know. Like I said, I risked it for the biscuit to show you. They're not too bad. But I'm just working on those storage solutions and those things. The other thing is like I sent Garen as well, because he placed an order for the Pokeball stands back there. Them are up there as well. You can buy them with the Pokeball or this thing. Been making these top loader stands as well, so there's different flat ones, or like this is a multicolored one, so there's different multicolored patterns out there that you can actually hold top loaders inside of here. So it holds a top loader so you can display your cards without having to get them graded. That's one thing I kind of been working on too, because I don't want to grade everything, so it's kind of nice to have something that you can display in. But yeah, like I said, I just want to touch on that here before we left too. So if you are looking for those display things, we also just got these simple little top loader holders too. So if you just have a top loader, you just want to put them on your table. Nothing too fancy, but it just kind of holds the card at a little bit of a back angle. So if you're at like a card show or something like that, you can actually sit there and put these up to hold them up. So that way you can actually do that. These are going to be like, I think we're selling these for like $3 for 10. So they're not like super expensive, but nice little features, things that can actually help people out when they're selling or when they're displaying, when they're showing things, just like that. When you have PSA cards, if you're going to sell, those would be really nice to be able to put them on the table and be able to have people look at them without having them laid out. It takes up a lot less space that way. You can get 10 into a smaller area where there's still visibility on them. So yeah, if you're looking for those kind of things, definitely check that out too. It's the next thing that we've been kind of working on here, is just using my 3D printers and starting to actually put them to a functional use. Garen can vouch. Pretty nice holders. Thank you so much for that, Garen. Greatly appreciated. Pika Pika. That top loader case is a neat concept. Never seen that before. I can see a demand for them. Bring them to a card show. And I will. That's actually what I was thinking is the next card show, especially if I go to a Collecticon or something like that, or to a bigger card show. I was actually going to bring them and kind of display them to people as well. So that, and if people are ordering, so like Garen ordered 10 of the Pokeball stands, that like these ones are now up for sale. I will print those and send those to order. I've got that all set up and ready to rock and roll. But those are available as well. And if you ordered those, if you order, basically what I've been doing, if anybody orders 8 or more of those, I'm throwing in one of the PSA stands. I'm throwing in one of the top loaders, and I throw in at least one of the things, just so you get a little sample pack as well. So there's a little sample pack of all the stuff that we've got going on. Let's see. Do you think the Latios IR from Surging Sparks will go under $60 at release? I don't know. It depends on the pull rate. Once again, I don't know if there's any pull rate data out at this point in time. So until we really get some pull rate data on that, I'm not 100% sure if it will or not. So now we're looking at the Latios one, right? Not Latios, Latios. Gotta make sure I put it in Latios. So you mean, because I thought the Latios was trying to find it here. Because I thought the Latios was the more expensive one. Maybe I'm wrong, but Because that the I'm just making sure because Latius is the $200 one right now. That one was crazy expensive. Latios, well, even right now, Latios is actually only at $45 currently, and after pre-release, it's really going to depend. It's an IR, so I see that one going down. It's already dropped pretty good in the last day, even since pre-release hit. So that would be awesome. That's a $200 card right now. So the Latius is SI or the SIR is $199.99, and that's after price drop after pre-release. So, and there's only 3 of them listed. So yeah, apparently it must be a fairly hard pull. I mean, a lot of people can't list either yet, so it's really going to flood the market here on Friday with pre-release tournaments. So Friday's really going to determine it. I mean, even the Latios, though, I mean, there's 10 plus multiples of those. I mean, there's probably about 35 of them already listed. So I don't see that value holding very well in that factor. But, all right, guys. Well, like I said, I just wanted to kind of get caught up. I know I was going to miss tonight, but I did want to hang out with you. I know there's some people doing election stuff. I got to go run my mom some stuff here. I told her I'd bring it to her around 10:30, so I'm going to go run the town, local town here, and drop that off for her since she's going to be there late. And like I said, if you guys are looking for those display things and stuff, check out the NorthwoodsTCG.com. I'm trying to build that up. Pre-orders are available right now, and then also all that 3D printed, like the holders, the stands. We got PSA, AGS right now. We will have CGC here shortly, and then I'm working on Beckett following that. So we'll have all the holders for all the different Pokemon cards. I don't know if I'm going to do SGC or anything like that. It's just not as popular. We'll see if there's a demand or people start asking for it. Then maybe it's something I could work into. But I'm not going to put a lot of design time into something that is not used by a lot of people currently. So, yeah, no problem. Thank you so much, everybody. Like, we'll be here no matter what next Thursday or Tuesday for sure. I won't be as crazy next Tuesday with everything going on. So, other than that, like I said, if you guys got anything, if you want to, head over to the Discord. We've been having some good chats, too, keeping up on that as well. It's kind of nice seeing some action in there. So thank you guys, everybody that's been active in there and having discussions, even talking about the pre-release, Prismatic Evolutions. All that stuff is being discussed over there right now, so thank you guys for that as well. Joey or Casper, thank you so much for that. Other than that, guys, thank you, everybody, for hopefully you guys have a fantastic Tuesday and a fantastic rest of your week here. And we will, of course, see you next week here on Northwoods TCG. Other than that, have a good night. Thank you.